Hello everyone, it's Mike Levin of the Levinix and Pipulate free and open source projects in the GitHub repository. And today is Friday, March 6th, and I want to get one or two Code with Mike Fridays in, especially since I'm just about to lose this room here. On April 1st, I'll have moved out. And today, one of my top priority items is a whitelist, an email whitelist for the folks who will be able to use Pipulate on its main domain, pipulate.com, without having to use Levinix or setting up their own server. And I realize that I'm going to be doing a lot of commits and pushes on a brand new setup server, and it's going to prompt me to do username and password, and I don't feel like doing that, especially during the videos, all those pauses. So I'm going to document a process today that you'll rarely find documented on YouTube because no one wants to show their public SSH keys. And I'm going to solve that simply by deleting it and doing it over after the video is done. So I'm in home here of my new Pipulate server, and there's nothing in home. I do all my work in var Pipulate. So I'm logged into a remote server. What you're looking at here is actually a Rackspace virtual server where I'm keeping pipulate.com right now. So I can use Rackspace's wonderful load balancing techniques and get some parallelism by getting the smallest server I can, setting up a load balancer, and then putting as many Pipulate servers as I need in to keep pace with demand based on how popular this becomes. But even so, I'm going to limit the number of users so that there's a race in, people who get in on the beta program, and everyone else can just watch them use Pipulate and use Levinix on their own desktop, or maybe set up their own server on a Raspberry Pi. So if I were to do some tiny little edit here, like let's just vim readme, and I put a little exclamation point there while I was setting up this demo. I'm just going to get rid of that exclamation point, save, quit, and git status. So you can see readme is modified, git commit, all files message, demonstrating passwords in Git, password elimination. It's not really the elimination of passwords, it's just switching from typing in a password to using SSH keys, which is a great workflow refinement. And speaking of those keys, when you cd into your home directory to a subdirectory called SSH, it's usually generated automatically, and there it is. And if you do an ls, you'll find maybe just one file, authorized keys. Whenever you use a secure service, it's going to prompt you for the key exchange. You answer yes, and then it records the public key of the other machine over here in this file. I'm not going to show you its contents, or I'd have to redo all those. But clear ls, whoops, ls. Now the thing is, there's got to be some more files here, and I just brought up GitHub, which I googled up the page for setting this up, and what I need here is this command. You can see I'll be pasting my email address in, so I just type that, mclevin@gmail.com. Feel free to email me, and enter the file name. I'll just hit return to keep the defaults. Enter the passphrase, but you can do empty. I'll do that. Same phrase again, and there you go. You can see a little image that represents the keys, and no big deal. I'm going to be redoing this process after the video, but now if I ls, you'll see there's some more files in there. Clear ls-la, and one of those files is id_rsa.pub. That's your public key. The other one is your private key. You never give that out. You never take that off the machine. But it's okay to use the less command, and there's other ways of doing this. Real Linux heads or Unix heads will probably curse me for showing how to do this using, I don't know, the copy and paste features of the host operating system. But you use ls to show the contents of the file. You can see the Gmail address is embedded in, but all the rest of it is a key that other servers can use so that it knows you are who you say you are. Very similar processes using username and password, but it's automated. And now I just flip over here, and you can see I was doing my research on how to do the whitelist, because OAuth 2 doesn't give me your email address. So when people start using pipulate.com, I need to start collecting the email addresses of the early adopters, and I can get that. It's just a matter of asking for the email address as part of the scope of the OAuth 2 login. And did my research, it's going to be straightforward, but I need to go to a place in GitHub right now, github.com. Okay, my profile, that should be fine. And then I want to go into settings. The gear in GitHub is settings. And then you go into your SSH keys. This is where you keep your SSH keys. And I don't have any in there right now, or else I would have had to have edited it out of the video. So I'm going to just say this is my new Pipulate Rackspace server. And I paste in the key. And I probably should do a before and after. I haven't saved yet, okay? So I go back here, I quit out, and then I cd back into var pipulate. And I already did an edit, which git status will show me. But if I do a git push, you'll notice it prompts me for the password. Now, there's one thing I need to confirm before that's a valid before. I need to do, let's see if I can remember, git origin, and I think there's a parameter /v. No, git. Well, let me check in my daily journal. This is something I do so frequently, I keep it way at the top. Nope, that's the bottom. Control V, and set, whoops, git set, git origin. Oh, git remote, yeah, okay, there it is. I do this so often, I keep the commands for setting the remote URL here. So git remote is the command that I'm looking for. Git remote -v. Yeah, okay, there it is. So you can see here that the origin is HTTPS, and that's actually a problem because when I did the original git clone, and it's the push one I'm looking for, but it's the same thing. When I did the original git clone, I did it with the HTTPS address because it's easier. But this SSH key authentication doesn't work over HTTPS. It works only over, I guess it's Git SSH protocol, and that's why I keep this over here so that I can just quickly get the command I need, right? And it changes the remote origin. Now I do that same command to look at it, and you can see my remote origin now, instead of HTTPS like here, it's now git@github.com. It's like a different protocol, colon. And now, if I tried to do a git push, this is a valid before. Do you want to do the key exchange? Boy, there shouldn't be a key over there. Yes. Ah, okay, hung up and unexpectedly, permission denied. Yeah, right, it tried to do the key exchange and it failed. Clear. So that is a valid before. See? Permanently added host to the IP address for. Okay, I may have to clear that out. It probably happened because of my testing going into the video, but let me save, add key, right? Now, git push. Voila, no password. That was a perfect demonstration. And now whenever I do an edit, clear, I'm polluting the repository a little bit, but for such an important video, it's actually worth it. Vim readme. I'll put the exclamation point back in. Git status. Show you something's changed. Git commit. Added something for password demo. Git push. Bam! And all my demos now will be much more smooth because I won't have to pause this to type in my username and password. And I think this is a very needed demo on the internet. I touched on two topics, just doing it in the first place, setting up your public key and setting up the exchange on GitHub. But then I also did the other piece that is often overlooked, which is changing your remote URL origin from HTTPS to, I guess it's the Git protocol using SSH, but that's necessary to make this trick work. And you'll find it in written format here and there on the internet, but rarely in YouTube form, and I did it because I was willing to do this step here. Oh, so difficult. Okay, thanks for joining me. Hope to talk to you soon, and don't forget to subscribe.